face the Philadelphia 76ers today. This is a team that they just have not had any type of success against if Joel EMbiid is on the court for the Philadelphia 76ers. So it's shaped up to be a difficult game for the Bulls. We'll see what they can do. But before that, we're going to talk. We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk some ish here on the pregame show. You know how we do it. First, though, we got to get into the intro.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
All right, family, we in the building today. Bulls 76ers, man. I'm glad this game is early. I won't even lie to you. And the reason why I'm glad the game is early, because if the Bulls do happen to get their asses kicked, we can just move on with the rest of the evening. It doesn't take up the whole evening. We can chill. We can drink. No, I'm just playing. Like, here's the thing. We got a 4-game week this week. We faced Philadelphia twice. We faced the Lakers, and I can't remember the other team that we faced in this stretch. But you know, it's gonna be a little Portland plays Portland on Friday. I knew it was somebody. But it's gonna be a difficult stretch for the Bulls, and the Bulls cannot take any of this stretch lightly at all because, hey, it doesn't get easy. It does not get easy for the Bulls. And so as they're creating some separation from the other teams in that playing area, the Bulls need to continue to try to win. They got a huge test in front of them. The Philadelphia 76ers come in riding an 8-game winning streak on top of everything else. So they have the momentum. The Bulls have won 4 out of their last 5, so they got a little bit of momentum themselves. But this is just a team that on paper, because Joel EMbiid is so amazing, that it just forces this to be a matchup issue for the Chicago Bulls. And we'll see. We'll see if we can disrupt Harden. Maybe Maxey has a cold night, something like that. Embiid's gonna get his, right? And I hate when I see people say, well, you know, we gotta find somebody to stop Embiid. We can't win because we can't stop Embiid. No, Embiid's pretty unstoppable no matter what team and who you are. But if you can control everything else around Embiid, that's when you can start trying to have some success. So Embiid's gonna get his. Embiid's probably gonna get 28 to 35 points tonight. Just go ahead and book it. But how the Bulls face and defend everything else is going to be where the story is told in this game. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see, man. It's a tall test for the Bulls, man. Tall test. And I love the heart that they've been playing with, and I hope that they come in and surprise. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's go ahead and get into the comments, see how you guys are feeling. Tell AK to give Pat the designer a vet minimum. We need players who can run the floor the way he was running in that timeout minigame. The way he was running, that man was not running fast at all. He was just out there with a lot of slow people, but it is what it is there. Torian says Embiid 12-0 versus us. Yep. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Vucevic needs to try and attack Embiid offensively. Yeah, that he does. Like defensively, Vuce can't do anything with Embiid. But if Embiid can, if Vuce can force Embiid to guard him by playing solid offense, getting to the teeth of the defense, getting in that middle, operating in that area, it can definitely open some things up. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Certification Poppy says, we got the GOAT Javonte back. Yeah, I mean, shout out to Javonte. I don't know how effective he's going to be right away. Well, we know Billy Donovan loves using Javonte, so we'll see. Well, it looks like he's out. So he's actually listed as out for today's game, at least on the injury report, unless something changed on the Bulls announced. So I don't think Javonte is coming back tonight. Oh, no, it does change. See, this is why you always have to check multiple places. The injury report on NBA.com still has Javonte listed as out, but they just tweeted 6 minutes ago, Javonte is available to play tonight against the 76ers. All right, let's see what he brings. Let's see what he brings. MC Season in the building says, what's good, bro? How was your day today? Hopefully it went well. The day was cool. Day was cool, man. It won't be all right. Like, I can't say it's great until we beat the 76ers. Yoslin says, the game on Saturday was fun. Got to see Pat the designer on the Bulls court competing in Benny's bash. That's funny, Yoslin. We're going to have a tough one tonight against the free throw bros, man. It's going to be interesting to see how this game's officiated. Bulls Day, what's up, Haize? Missed the last few pre and post games live, but I'm back now. Well, I was gone for the last one too, so I'm back now as well. So we're gonna have some fun. Pat Bev, I was gone. We didn't play Sunday, did we? No. Pat Bev on Harden and Caruso on Maxey. If Caruso plays, but we'll see, man. I think Pat Bev can definitely disrupt Harden at least a little bit. Let's see. Hope is coming back for me just a little bit. I just want to see Hart tonight, even if they don't get the W. I can feel you on that. I can feel you on that one. Has Maxey cooked on us all games? I don't know if all games. I feel like there was a game in there where Maxey didn't play well. Maybe he didn't play well in the first half and then cooked us in the second half of one of these games last season. I can't remember. I'm trying to look it up. Hold on, let's see. So Tyrese Maxey. Nah, hell. In 2 games last season, he scored 2 and 5 points respectively. So there you go on that one. The last game against us in January of this year, he scored 26. Before that, it was 14. So I wouldn't necessarily say cooked, but, it is what it is. Salute Big Dog AD quit yesterday on the Lakers, and him and LeBron getting into the sideline, making me think AD finna come to Chicago. Well, yeah, that's not finna happen. I mean, I'm glad that you got hope, but it's highly unlikely that that's going to be the case there, brother. I just don't mean to burst your bubble, but I just got to keep it real with you. If AC doesn't play tonight, I'd like to see how Dalen would look guarding a guy like Maxey. Billy Donovan's gum, I completely agree with you. You got to tell Billy Donovan that when he's chewing on your ass. That was a pause. That was definitely a pause. That was definitely got a pause on that one. But you gotta, I don't trust Billy Donovan to play Dalen. I don't know. No, this is how I look at it. I'm not saying we're going to win tonight, but it's the same time we have more to fight for because the 76ers are already in the playoffs. You never know. Yeah, but I still feel like Joel EMbiid is the Bulls' Aaron Rodgers. I think he sees the Bulls and he's like, do you remember the game last season where he beat us and he waved at a lady's kid? Like, that's how much he looks forward to playing the Bulls. He waved at a child because he just beat the child's favorite team. He waved at him and smiled. And then when the kid looked away, he was like, no? Like, so that's how Embiid looks at beating the Chicago Bulls. They ain't coming in taking this easy, man. Hey, Haize, who do you see as the starting point guard for the Bulls? I have no idea, bro. Like, I can't call it right now. We got to make it through this season first. We got to see what free agents we do and don't bring back. I have no idea right now, brother. None. I have some ideas in mind, but then again, you never know who AK is going to go after. So, and we don't know what they're going to do. I think it would, the picture would come a little bit more in the light too. What the hell is wrong with this microphone up here? More into light once we know kind of what the Bulls are going to do with Lonzo Ball's contract. Are they going to file for a disabled player exception? Are they going to file for a career-ending injury exception? Because if they do either one of those things, it drastically changes what the Bulls are probably going to do this offseason. So I really can't call it yet, bro. Bobby Sparks says, thank God you are back. What does that mean? What does that mean? I mean, I'm glad to be back too, but what does that mean? Debo called game. Well, he needs to call game today. What up, Haize? What's going on, Kevon? Glad to have you in the building as well, brother. A big game from Io isn't necessary, but I want to see him really attacking Maxey on both ends. Listen, I think I think Io's confidence is shot, and I don't know if he rebuilds that until this offseason at the earliest. Like, if you just look at Io, he's not playing nearly with the defensive intensity that he played with last season, not even remotely close. And because of that, it's like, I just don't know, man. I don't know. I have no idea. I really hope the Bulls can play their best with the remaining 12 games left. Knowing that they're going to fall off the playoffs first round is going to be hard. I mean, listen, this season has been a tough season. And I will say this. Keep in mind, if it wasn't for the NBA creating the play-in tournament, there would be no hope for the Bulls to make the postseason at this point. Like the creation of the play-in has literally changed the chances, because keep in mind, I always compare this year's team to the 07-08 Chicago Bulls team. That team had still 39 wins, I think, and did not make the playoffs with no postseason hope. By this point, because keep in mind, we only got like two weeks left in the season. By this point of that season, we already knew the Bulls weren't going to have a postseason hopes at all. But the invention of the play-in has now given us hope of some shit that's going to come that probably isn't going to come, and you shouldn't expect it. But it's amazing how the play-in has really just changed the outlook of the postseason. What was this year? No, the Maxey game with 4 and 5 was in 2021. If that's what you're talking about. The game where Maxey had 4 and 6 points, that was in February and March 2021. So unless I just misspoke and said something. Slim21 said, nah, bro, I don't want AD soft ass. That's funny. Mr. Glass himself, AD, you already know. I think switching Zach and Bev on Harden throughout the game might work to our advantage. It could, definitely. But we'll see. Zach LaVine, he has his games defensively where he just it does affect his offense though, but I wouldn't mind seeing a good defensive game from Zach LaVine tonight. The big homie says, what up, Haize, bro? Why Zoe isn't on the sideline cheering on the guys? He's still a bull at this point. He's been on the sideline in every game. What do you mean? Lonzo is always out there at home games, and he still travels with the team to some games. He just isn't jumping around because the dude got one leg, but he's on the sidelines a lot. Lonzo's been at most. I don't think he's missed a single home game this season. If he has, it hasn't been many, but he's at every home game, and he still travels with the team to some games. Like he was, for example, what game was it? He was on some road game, our recent road game that we had. Can't remember which one it was. I think it was the Houston game. Maybe it was one of the Detroit games, but yeah, Zoe's been out there all the time. He's always out there. He's just, you can tell his spirits aren't the same. Did you hit the gym today? No, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been literally either recording content or working all day long since 5 this morning. I want Rondo back as the point guard, but he's coaching at Kentucky. Damn, the Bulls tweak. You want him back at point guard this year? Oh, so you want to tank? Because Rondo ain't got nothing left for us. EMbiid is the Bulls' Aaron Rodgers. Absolutely. 100%. Bobby says, you had some great guys backing you up, but nothing like the original. I appreciate that, Bobby. But yeah, Kanye, the Steve-O is great. Big Kev is great. I think the Cognac Boys or C-Dub came in on the post-game show as well. So yeah, shout out to them, man. I love those guys, man. That's family at this point. Your channel helps my anxiety and depression. I don't know how watching my crazy black ass helps your anxiety and depression, but I'm definitely glad I can help. I'm glad I can help with that one, Delbert. Appreciate you, brother. You think DJJ will get minutes today? I think he may need to. Definitely think he may need to. Not gonna lie, I've never seen Lonzo sitting on the bench. Yeah, he's been, like, literally, Lonzo's been out there every single game. Every home game, at least. Like I said, he's been there. He's been there. The camera goes to him all the time. Anytime Stacey and them during halftime talk about him, the camera goes to him all the time. If you're watching the NBC Chicago broadcast, Lonzo's out there a lot. A lot. He just isn't bouncing around and jumping around because he can't. What's good? Haize, what's good, family? That hat is fire. Go Bulls. I appreciate that, bro. You know, one thing y'all can always come to me for is fire hats and good content, man. That's it. Haize, been seeing you at the Heat game, but happy you got the part of the win. And CHGO shouted you out. Those are my guys over there. They always shout me out over there. Do you work from home? Absolutely, bro. I've been working from home since the pandemic, man. Since about 2 months in the pandemic. I don't even think it took that long. Honestly, probably was like 3 weeks into the pandemic. I've been working at home since then, and I don't think I'll ever accept another job that I have to physically go to. Ever. I don't like people. I hate people, actually. So there you go. Just a random thought, but any thoughts on Portland's pick coming this draft? I was reading about it, but it's confusing. We're not going to get it. Portland's basically all but officially eliminated from the playoffs, so we're not getting that pick. Now, there is some things and some rumors because that pick has weird protection on it. So technically, because they owe us that pick the next time they don't make the playoffs, and it's protected until 2028, they can't trade any of their own first-round picks. Like the GM at the time that traded us that pick, literally GM was like, do you not know how protections work? Because he put the most difficult protection on. They cannot trade their own first-round pick. And so there's been some talk and speculation that they could potentially remove the protection from that pick to just give it to the Bulls outright, so then they can use their other picks to bring some more assets to build around Dame. So we'll see what happens with that, though, man. I don't know how hopeful I am with that. The fact he be out there makes me feel even worse for wanting him to be cut with the disabled player thing. I say AK probably feels like that too, and he would probably instead use the disabled player thing. Well, the thing about the disabled player exception is that if they do that, Lonzo Ball's contract still counts towards the salary cap. So that $10.5 million, I doubt we use, because we go into the luxury tax to just use that exception. And we know that this team doesn't pay the luxury tax. So, yeah, don't get me wrong. I know that they probably feel for Lonzo, and I know that they love Lonzo, and I know that they would want to have Lonzo back, but this is business. And it's not like the career-ending injury exception means Lonzo's not going to get paid. He's getting his money regardless. There's no outcome in that Lonzo doesn't get all of his money. He's getting his money. But if you look at this as a business and the best outcome for you to have to build this team, I think the career-ending exception is the best route there, in my opinion. But, hey, we'll see what AK decides to do. Slim21 says, how many years they've been saying that about Rondo has nothing left but man, was winning everywhere he went besides that. Let's not act like he was winning because he was the focal point. And I would say that he's saying he has nothing left in the tank because he's coaching and not in the league. That's just my opinion. But I feel where you're coming from on that. Shaitan Javier says, I'm about to be 21 tomorrow. Hey, shit don't feel real. 21? First of all, shit don't feel real. What don't feel real, bro? You still drinking fucking Similac, bro. No, all love to you, man. Happy early birthday to you, my brother. I'm going to try to remember to make sure I shout you out on tomorrow's pre-recorded episode. That is your birthday as well. Make sure you enjoy it, bro. That's all I'm going to say. Enjoy it, bro. Enjoy it at every minute. Live life to the fullest. I know that's cliche, but enjoy it, fam. If Lonzo plays, he'll be back as a Bull because no way he's bypassing the money in his player option. Well, no, that's not, because if they do the disabled player exception or the career-ending player exception, he gets his money and he gets to go to another team. Well, at that point, if he plays over a certain amount of games, the money comes back on the Bulls' books. But I wouldn't say that it's foregone that he's going to come back and be a Bull. I just won't say that for sure. Playoffs playing or not, it's good to know I'm not the only one stressing over this team. See Red. Oh, we all stressing, bro. Come on. This has been a stressful season. I feel bad for Lonzo, but I understand why fans are frustrated with his reverse Iron Man ass. I mean, I don't think anybody's like blaming the player. Like, it's not like he wants to be hurt, right? It's not like one of those situations to where he can possibly be cleared and he doesn't want to come back and play. Like, the man is going through it. I know some people, you have your conspiracy theories. Oh, well, he's really trying to get his way out of Chicago. Oh, it's all mental. No, you would not hurt your own value with getting a third surgery in less than 18 months to just get your way out of a team. So, Archangel in the building says Dalen was killing it in the G League game against the Celtics affiliate yesterday. I hope he's in Philly and gets some minutes. He's probably not going to get any minutes, but Dalen's been cooking, bro. I'm sorry, man, but Dalen's been cooking. Definitely been cooking. Does Lonzo Eve pull up any of your games? What? Lonzo Eve? What? Ella, I feel you, but keep doing your thing, King. Enjoy the show. Go Bulls. I feel you, Slim. Glad to have you in the building, bro. Hopefully the Bulls get a dub today. I'm speaking if the Bulls don't do anything to get out the deal. Oh, man, if they don't do anything, that'd be shocking. But, hey, I feel you on that one. If the Bulls, by miracle, end up making it all the way to the ECF, they will move on to be the 2023 champions. With that said, this team is very bipolar. The season hurts my brain. First of all, if the Bulls make it to an ECF, let's just say by some stretch of God and Jesus Devontae Christ decides to smile upon the Chicago Bulls and we make it to an ECF this season, I am going to be so ridiculously drunk the whole playoff run that you guys will literally be on the live stream and like, listen, I think Haize thinks he's talking, but he's literally just staring at the screen. He's doing the IO. Like, I'll literally be so drunk, I'll be sitting here on the post-game show like, with a random, yeah! That's what it would be. Because, like, I just, I would go batshit ass crazy. Seriously, batshit ass crazy. If the Chicago Bulls, as crazy as this season is, go on a playing run and then make an ECF, listen, you ain't even gotta worry about it. I'm telling y'all right now. Pull up to the live stream if you want to. I'm not gonna be sober. I'm just not gonna be sober. Mark Shannon says 21. That's it. Should I still feel old? I'll be 30 in December. Dirty 30. Well, y'all some young motherfuckers, but I love y'all. Y'all my family. Tay Hollins in the building says, I say dump Ball and go get a solid point guard and bring back Pat Bev. I mean, it's not that easy, bro. It's not like we can just drop him and be like, all right, bet, boom, NBA, you take that. Give us our money. We're going to keep it moving. It's not that it's things that they still need to do, even if they decide to go the career-ending injury exception. There's still tons of things and bullet points that they would need to hit before that's cleared. At least he ain't like Ben Simmons, bro. Ben Simmons, like, have you ever seen somebody legitimately get so shook because their fan base turned on them in the playoffs that he just forgot how to play basketball? Yeah, that's literally what we're talking about here. Like, I know he had the mental health stuff last season, and I don't take away from that. But literally, he went from being a very solid, at least defender, albeit he had his issues with shooting, to that playoff series of him not shooting and passing up shots, and the Philadelphia fans completely killed him to where they made this man forget how to lose, how to win, how to play basketball. He forgot how to play basketball. Imagine going through something so traumatizing that you forget how to do the thing that you were amazing at. That's crazy, bro. That's wild. Shot-Town Javier says, we got 2 games with the Lakers coming up, 2 desperate as fuck teams fighting for a playoff spot. The energy is going to be crazy for those games. I don't know, man. Like, the Lakers are a weird team, bro. I feel bad for Lonzo, not just as a player, but as a human being. Everybody's talking about it's just a ball scandal, but people forget that this has been a dream for NBA players since they were a child. I mean, yeah. And it sucks that it's talking. It sucks that it's going to this part, man. It's crazy. I feel like if we keep getting this DeMar DeRozan going forward, we should bring it back next year, looking more like San Antonio and DeMar. What's even different than that? DeMar taking the 3-pointers that he's been taking confidently keeps the defense honest. And there were points in the season where teams literally, they sag back on DeMar so that they can prepare for DeMar to try to drive to the lane. And now DeMar, at least over the last 3 games, when he sees that, he just jacks up the 3. And it literally makes them have to play him honest no matter where he is on the court, as long as he's hitting those. That changes the complexities of the Bulls' offense for so much. I've been listening to you for a while now, and I have to confess, if the Bulls lost, I don't go on YouTube. What? Because they lose? You can't go on YouTube after they lose? I mean, hey, everybody deals with their team losing a different way. So I feel you. I'm okay with letting Caruso walk. I just want to see us bring back Io, Kobe, and Pat on a vet minimum. I don't know how realistic that is. I thought that you were talking about Pat Will for a second there. I always forget we got 2 Pats on the team now. I mean, I would love for them to bring Pat Bev back. I think what he's shown so far, I don't care what they do with the roster. I want to see Pat Bev come back, especially if it's on a vet minimum. As far as Kobe and Io, man, I think that the possibility of getting a career-ending exception for Lonzo Ball's contract increases the possibilities of bringing them both back. But even then, we have to realize that this version of the team did not work. And we can't keep everyone that even has promise on this team if we want to make significant changes and get out of this rut. So everybody can't come back. And so when you look at it, you said let Caruso walk. If we got Pat Bev back, even though Pat Bev isn't as a disruptive defender as Alex Caruso is, he's a better leader. And we've seen what that leadership has done for the Chicago Bulls. So I can understand where you're coming from there. But I don't know, man. I really don't know, bro. I have no idea. This is one of the few times that going into the Chicago Bulls offseason, I really do not have a pulse on what this team is going to do. I do not. There are so many different avenues, so many different routes, so many different permutations and possibilities that the Bulls could use this offseason. I do not know. I do not know. Does Joel EMbiid perfect record against the Bulls come to end tonight? Well, I don't predict Bulls wins and losses anymore with how this season is gone. So we'll see. But be tuned in here on Chicago Bulls Central because we'll break it down or whatever happens. No, I feel this guy. When the Bulls lose, I don't want to see a single post till the next morning. That's crazy. Simba says, what up, hey, see Velvet. That is hilarious. That's funny. I don't even remember when that became a thing. Bulls by 10 tonight. I'm calling it right now, Haize. From your mouth to God's ears, Tay. You already know. That's all I got to say on that one. From your mouth to God's ears, and hopefully he listening. I don't think he listening to us, but hopefully he listening. Bro, I just saw what you did to C-Dub with Santos. I was down. I don't know how I missed it. Man, hey, we were closing the show. Literally, I was just like, I'm finna mess with this dude. Because we had a really good show that episode. It was probably one of my favorite live streams that we did. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I was just like, I'm really about to mess with C-Dub. He's been in good spirits this whole live stream. I gotta dash those. That's just who I am as a person. So it is what it is there. But yeah, so there we go. Got a bad feeling AK gonna run it back. Listen, if AK runs it back after what we've been through this season, talk about the sky's fault. Like, I'm literally gonna be on this stream going the hell off, man. PB and Pat says, most likely Green walking and us bringing back Pat Bev and maybe going after D-Lo. We don't know what the front office is thinking. Listen, I have no idea. Going after D-Lo, though, like, I get what, especially with his ability to score, and he's a solid passer, but, like, do you really want to have a backcourt? Do you really want to have, at that point, if they bring back DeMar, you want to have D-Lo, Zach LaVine, and DeMar DeRozan as your 1, 2, and 3? We giving up a lot of points, fam. A lot of points. That's a lot of points we giving up. Who's your MVP right now, Haize? I think Joel deserves it. I mean, I definitely think Joel deserves it, especially because he's playing the most games he's ever played. He's on pace to break his games played in the season. He's playing at the level. He got the Philadelphia 76ers, the second best record in the East. So, I mean, and to me, Jokic, I love the season he's having, but it's difficult to get over the hump and get 3 MVPs in a row. They could give it to Jokic, but I won't say that EMbiid isn't having an MVP caliber season. It's just I don't know what they do with the Jokic of it all. DeMar's basketball IQ is really high. Like, that side corner and shoulder three is definitely effective for him. Mid-range is godlike. Passing is good. He also reads passing lanes well. On ball, D's trash. Oh, yeah, he gets blown up off the ball some, too. Now, he's been playing much better off the ball here lately, but DeMar DeRozan's on-ball defense is literally like, hey, do you want to score? No, you don't want to score? Cool. So I'm like, just drop the ball for him and pick it up. That's what I'm sure DeMar's bribed a couple of people. I'm just fucking with y'all. They may go after FVV. He's from the Chi, and he don't want to stay in Toronto. Fred VanVleet. Here's the thing. Fred VanVleet isn't an outright free agent. He has to opt out of his contract. That contract is $22 million, I think, off the top of my head. So for him to opt out of $22 million, I think he's going to want at least, I think he'll re-sign for less, but it's going to take like an $18 million over 3 years. So he's still getting more money over more time. But I don't think the Bulls are going to offer a player like Fred VanVleet that. That's my opinion. I could be wrong on that, but I wouldn't hate VanVleet on this team. I wouldn't hate it at all. Spicy Butter in the building says, what's good, little bro? I feel real confident in the Bulls actually playing some meaningful games. I mean, yeah, I feel confident in them playing meaningful games and playing with heart. I just don't know how confident I feel in them pulling out the dub. So how the fuck do you run it back? Ain't no way. I will melt down within myself. Vadi the Great. That's hilarious, bro. That's hilarious. Archangel says, random comment of the day. Joel EMbiid gets beard sweat going like no other legit beard faucet. Why are we talking about beard sweat? Like, come on. How did we get to beard sweat? Is this what we talking about right now? That's the Inside the Chicago Bulls video.
This just in. and I was talking to a 76ers insider, and guess what, guys? You guys will never believe this, by the way. Guess what? They just said that Joel EMbiid drops a triple-double of beard sweat every night. They actually take the buckets of sweat. They then donate it to homeless people, and the homeless people turn that sweat into a lather that they then wash their bodies with. There are people in Philly right now. The homeless people are walking around smelling like Joel EMbiid beard sweat. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard. This is coming directly from a Philadelphia insider. Who's the insider? Don't worry about it. Some homeless game named Phil. Don't worry about that.
That's tough, bro. That's real tough. That's tough. That's real odd. Well, let's keep it moving. Oh man. What if the Bulls go after Kyrie? That would be. I'll tell you what right now. And y'all, somebody bookmark this. Go ahead and take it. I'm telling you right now. If the Chicago Bulls void the contract or use one of the exceptions to get out of the contract of Lonzo Ball, and they then pivot and are able to bring Kyrie Irving to the Chicago Bulls, I will be on this show. I'm going to get a shirt made with Kyrie Irving's face on it, and I'm going to be on this live stream. I don't know. I'm going to sing something. I'm going to reenact the whole scene from Scream 2 when old boy got on the table and was screaming, "I think I love you." I'm going to do that. I'll do that for AK. If the Chicago Bulls are able to pivot and bring Kyrie Irving to this franchise, even though I have my issues with Kyrie, even though I fully expect and think that Kyrie Irving would somehow go to Portillo's and convince Portillo's to become a vegan restaurant, I have my issues with Kyrie and some of this shit. But if AK is able to pivot off the injury of Lonzo Ball to Kyrie Irving, listen, I'm on here singing. Don't even worry about it. I'm on here singing. You ain't got to worry about it. You ain't got to worry about it. That's wild, fam. That's listen, if they bring in Kyrie, that's different. All right, starting lineups have been announced. Patrick Beverley, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan. Why do people from Chicago say DeMar DeRozan? Why do so many people from Chicago call him DeMar DeRozan confidently, like there's not a whole other letter to end his name? Nonetheless, DeMar DeRozan at the 3, Patrick Williams at the 4, Nikola Vucevic at the 5. So Pat Will is back in that starting lineup. Miguel says, I would bring in Tyus Jones. Tyus Jones, with his ability to pass, he's okay defensively, and his non-hesitation to shoot an open 3, I would not mind Tyus Jones on this team at all. Wouldn't mind it at all. Now, I don't think it fixes everything. He doesn't replace Lonzo Ball 1-for-1 by any stretch, but I would not mind Tyus Jones at all. Who's your favorite wrestler of all time? Bret the Hitman Goddamn Hart, followed by Macho Man Randy Savage, followed closely thereafter after that by I know this is going to be controversial, but outside of what he did in regular life, Chris Benoit is absolutely one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, period. And, you know, we can have the conversation. He did something absolutely disgusting, and I hope he burns in hell for it. But for wrestling, in between the ring, Chris Benoit was one of the best technical wrestlers of all time, period. BJ Tucker is out. All right, there you go. There you go. Racho Man is a legend. I don't know who Racho Man is. You eating nachos? Like that's difficult. Haize, do you know if Caruso's playing at all? I was actually just trying to find that. I don't see anything on the Bulls official Twitter. But Patrick Williams being in the starting lineup probably tells me that Caruso probably is not playing in this game. So we'll see though. Yeah, I don't see anything official out there as of yet. So Triple H is another good one. I used to love Triple H all the time. Triple H made me realize that you can root for a heel. So I love Tyus Jones for the Bulls because if Lonzo somehow come back, Tyus can play off the bench, but it'll probably be Lonzo because of injury. Yeah, well, keep in mind, if they are able to bring in Tyus Jones, it probably means that they've done something with Lonzo Ball's contract. So, all right, I mean, I guess if it's a disabled player exception, then theoretically Lonzo could come back still. But I would not mind Tyus Jones at all as a stopgap. Not at all. Oh, well, always love Eddie Guerrero was amazing too. And I'll say this, Eddie Guerrero was probably a little bit lesser of an in-the-ring wrestler than Chris Benoit, but the thing that puts him over Chris Benoit is the personality, right? Chris Benoit just did not have that personality and his ability on the mic. Eddie Guerrero could cut a promo, I tell you. And if you guys notice, right? So I'm gonna let you guys in a little bit behind the scenes, right? If you ever notice how when I go into Petty Roosevelt mode, how when I start going on my rants and stuff, that is a combination of Eddie Guerrero, Mick Foley, and how he used to cut certain promos, a little bit of Kurt Hennig in there as well, and then something that people don't usually expect. Also, it's just a tinge, just a little bit, very little. Keep in mind, I'm saying a very little of Bret the Hitman Hart in there when I go on my Petty Roosevelt. So like when I go on my rant, I start going off and doing all that. It's just watch how I cut a promo. We used to do this thing. It used to be a promo battle back when I was doing the wrestling podcast. It was me and Fame Black. I killed him in the promo combo. Like I told this whole entire story. I was in an abandoned church. I lit something like I acted like I lit it on fire. Like I can cut a promo now. I can cut a promo. And then, Vadi, I would tell you that you need to lay off the weed because Chris Benoit was absolutely one of the greatest technical wrestlers ever to step foot in the ring. Ever. Randy Orton, the best out of the Orton family in top 5. And Randy Orton's amazing. He's a legend. He will be a WWE Hall of Famer, absolutely and rightfully so. But let's get it back to basketball. I don't know, like this whole thing, man. Billy crying in the shower again, pregame with his favorite photo of Caruso. Billy's precious ain't the same without Caruso. That's hilarious. That's funny. Let's see what else we got here. A lot of Chris Benoit crap. Sydney, yeah, we talked about it earlier. Javonte is playing today for sure. Facts, put everything aside. Chris was a MF in the ring. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Denny Schroeder, Trey Jones, Tyus Jones, and Dennis Smith Jr. are all realistic options. Listen, Denny Smith Jr., I'm shout out to him for revamping his career, but do we really want to try to hinge our point guard hopes on a player that's still proving he can actually play in the NBA? I'm just saying, you got to think about that. I guess on a low risk, low money type deal, maybe, but I don't know. I don't know. Vaughn says, you say the bullshit front office should insulate Billy from himself, so I think that means Caruso, maybe Io needs to go. He overvalues the roles way too much. Well, no, Caruso's role is important, and that's why most championship teams would love to have a player like Caruso. And the reliance on Caruso isn't the issue. It's where he plays Caruso at. And by insulate, when I say insulate, I mean they have to add legitimate size to this roster and cut some guards, just so Billy has to. Caruso playing in his role as a combo guard off the bench, playing either the one or the two, he's great in that role. And that role should be heavily relied on. But where Billy Donovan goes wrong at is relying on him to play the four against in matchups where he's clearly getting cooked. Now, if he's not getting cooked, it's one thing. But when Caruso is clearly getting cooked by length, it's like you have to come off of that. You have to come off of it. Who's ready for Resident Evil 4? See, me, remakes, I'll get to it at some point. I'm ready for the new Jedi Survivor. That's the game I'm ready. That will be the next game that I buy. And once it does come out, don't talk to me. And I'm glad that it's coming out around the time the Bull season ends. We'll see if they make postseason play, because then I can focus on that on my evenings. I ain't doing no live streams. Jedi Survivor is the next game that I'm looking forward to. Porzingis would be a good Vooch replacement? I don't agree, but I don't disagree either. If we go away from Vooch, who do we get? If we do go away from Vooch, I would love to see us go after Podol. I think when you because keep in mind, especially if they do keep DeMar, you have to, even if you want to go a more defensive center, that center still needs to be a solid passer, which Poto is. They need to be able to get buckets at times, which Poto can do. You're not going to run like 18 plays a game for Poto, but guess what? He's dangerous in the pick and roll. He's a solid decision maker in the pick and roll. He's not as good of a passer as Vooch, but he's still an above average passer for a big man. So you gain that there as well. And he isn't a threat to stretch the floor like Vooch is, but he still has a solid 8 to 15 foot jumper that he can go to at times, and he's a solid dribbler. Like Poto, if Vooch just does not come back, the Bulls can't negotiate with him. If they bring in Poto instead of Vooch, because Vooch wanted to leave, I wouldn't be mad at that deal at all. Then if they compare that with still bringing in maybe a big man like Mo Bamba off the bench, that'd be a nice 1-2 punch. But that's the player that I would like to see the Bulls zero in on if Vooch does leave as Poto. That's my opinion. Jedi Survivor going to be, that game is going to be amazing. Amazing. And the story is already better than anything they told in the damn sequel series like that. Force Awakens was great. I loved Force Awakens, but then every movie after that just got worse, man. It's not their decision. He's a free agent. It's not their decision. He is a free agent at the end of the season. It's not like they have a choice. Now, if he wants to go back, that's cool. But they don't have a decision to not let him go. That's when you have a restricted free agent. That's when you have a player under contract. They don't. He's a free agent. He can go wherever the hell he wants to go. How'd you feel about Christian? Listen, I've been saying this since last season. You guys can go back when the Bulls fans wanted us to trade for Christian Wood. I'm not that high on Christian Wood. I'm just not. I know he can put the ball in the bucket. I know he's not a bad scorer at all. And I'm not saying he's a bad player, but to me, here's what I'll say. If you do bring in Christian Wood, he still has a lot of the same limitations as Vooch. You still need to go after somebody to fill out some defense on the rest of that. He is a threat to stretch the floor. I don't look at Christian Wood as the passer Vooch is either, and he ain't that much better defensively. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Thoughts on I don't stream games. That's not the type of, I don't have that skill set. I like to be by myself when I play video games, listen to podcasts or music, and zone the fuck out. That's it. Well, they already said he's going to be available. Now, will he play? That's another thing, but we'll see. We need Bol. Fun fact, I actually graduated from high school with his cousin. That's funny. That's crazy. I mean, we'll see. I don't think the Magic are going to let Bol go, though. Like, I think that they see what they have in him now, and I don't know if they move off that. That's my opinion. I could be wrong on that one, but hey. Rudy Gobert scooping up DeMar and Levine misses is way better than having to share the ball. Vooch, who needs his looks. No, it's not. Again, and that's why I always tell everyone who just looks at what Vooch does not do and just focuses on bringing in a player that does not do those things, Rudy Gobert is a terrible passer. Not just bad, terrible. And so, no, him scooping up loose balls does not make anything because, again, you have to still think about building a team. You need spacing. And one of the things that Vooch is sacrificing this game is because he does go out more to the perimeter to allow DeMar to do more of his mid. DeMar DeRozan is basically our low post scorer. If you have DeMar DeRozan and Rudy Gobert clogging the lane, say goodbye to your spacing, say goodbye to creating passing lanes because teams are going to be able to just pack it in. It does not help. It helps defensively. He's going to get a lot of rebounds, but I'm telling you right now, the offense is going to take such an amazing nosedive that whatever benefit we get defensively is going to be negatable. Like, it's not going to be that much. I really hope we don't lose Vooch. Me too. Like, Vooch is the one that I want to see them keep. But I hope that they change the roster in a way to allow Vooch to be more like Vooch. And I think people forget Vooch is averaging almost 18 and 11 as a third option. With the way that Vooch plays, if Vooch was a second, not that I want to see, I still would want to see maybe a better second option or maybe by committee. But if Vooch was able to play to what Vooch's natural places on the court he likes to score at more oftenly, Vooch would easily be a 24 and 11 guy a season, and that's what you want. So. Is there a price or amount of years that you would say is too high for you to want to keep Vooch? I say anything over 20 years, 2 years, 20 million is too much unless we move DeMar, and I say 20 years, 25. Oh, Vooch is probably getting those. You're $20 million a year. I think Vooch at a base salary is getting 12 to 15, and that's if he takes a bit of a discount. So I think that $10 million is too low. I would say this: if you can get Vooch on a 2-year, $35 million deal, I think that's a sweet spot. Maybe with a player or team option on that third year. So, 20 each. Got you. Okay, my bad. Not total. All right, that makes a little bit more sense. That makes sense. I'm with you on that one. Definitely with you on that one. Evan Link, Bulls fans take what Vooch does for granted, and you already know they will be the first to complain about those things once. Oh, absolutely. But and that's the sad thing about Bulls fans. But Vooch will not be fully appreciated until he is gone, and then they see and realize how much he did help this team, right? Because for the box score watchers, I know Vooch doesn't stand out to them all the time and stuff like that, but like people won't really appreciate it. Vooch is the boss love of this team. That's fair. I get what you mean by that. Archangel says, if we lose Vooch and trade DeMar, whoever we bring in, I hope they are durable because those two guys are most durable, especially Vooch. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Like I said before, AK got his work cut out for him this offseason. This is not an offseason where you can just kick the can down the road, and we're going to see real quick. C-Dub said this about Ryan Poles over on Bear Central, but I'll say this, I'll bring this over to Acme as a group. This is going to be the offseason where we learn if Acme are geniuses or are they jackasses. That's what we're going to find out this offseason. Because as of right now, we got one offseason that they went out. They got DeMar, got Lonzo, got Caruso. They revamped this team. They got Nikola Vucevic the year before that. They made moves. We got one offseason of them not doing much. I'm not giving them their first offseason because they came in, they had to clear some things up. They drafted P. Will, stuff like that. But this is the offseason where, at least in free agency and remaking the team, we're going to find out if they're geniuses or jackasses. We'll see which way it goes. You gave Billy Donovan an extension, a secret extension, so we'll see with that. Shy City 1 says, my problem with Vooch is the things that don't show up in the stats. He allows so many points. He has butterfingers like a motherfucker too. Well, keep in mind too, like you got to actually, if you're going to say that doesn't show up in the stat sheet, you know what else doesn't show up in the stat sheet? How many times he's caught out of position because the guards on this team don't guard pick and rolls well, right? So I'm not saying it's all, because Vooch is a bad defender, but there are absolutely times where he gets caught in bad positions because the point of attack defense is absolutely dog shit ass trash. So you got to factor that into it as well. Honestly, Vooch has so much leverage. He can honestly probably tell them to choose me or DeMar, and they almost have to choose Vooch because losing him won't be easy to replace passing, shooting, durability. I mean, I see where you're going with that. This front office, I don't know if I don't know if they would respond well to playing hardball. Turner got 2 years, $58 million. Vooch may ask for similar. I doubt it because Turner is considerably younger than Nikola Vucevic. How old is Miles Turner? I know he's still young considering how long he's been in the league, but let's see how old Miles Turner. Miles Turner is 20. Miles Turner is almost 8 years younger than Nikola Vucevic. Vooch ain't getting that money. He ain't asking for that money. That's a big difference. Lil Famo says, Patrick Williams back in the starting lineup. Yes, he is back in the starting lineup tonight. He will be starting for our Chicago Bulls. Mark Shannon says, I say keep DeMar. I'm a biased DeMar fan, I will admit it, but let him play his contract out and hopefully add some solid pieces this offseason. Well, here's the thing that I'm going to kick to you. And I understand where you're coming from with that. My only question is, and I'm going to kick to you, wouldn't you want the Bulls to take advantage of DeMar's last year and not let him walk away for nothing if they don't plan on re-signing him? Right? Take my critique on DeMar and everything out of consideration. Let's just look at the front office. The front office says, listen, we know DeMar isn't part of our future. Would you not rather them see them get something back for him for a team that's going to go on a playoff rush that may need a little something over the top? Wouldn't you rather see that? That's just a hypothetical I'm throwing out. Not saying that your mindset is wrong. I definitely understand where you're coming from with that. 100%. 100% understand where you're coming from. If we lose Vooch, guaranteed he'll cook us every single time. It depends on who we get to replace him, but yeah, the high probability of that looks likely. Secret Billy extension still pissing me off. How long, damn it? We know your secret. Tell us how long, for God's sake already. Listen, and that's the biggest thing. Like AK and Eversley literally like, hey, did they release that we re-signed Billy Donovan? Yeah, they did. Okay, well, fuck it. Let it ride out. But the fans want to know how much we re-signed him for. AK probably looked at Casey Johnson dead in his face and said, fuck the fans. That's probably what he said. Vooch is probably leaving. He'd already talked about wanting to go back to Orlando one day. That was a weird. First of all, go back and read that whole quote. That he was talked into that. So it's a completely different thing than him just coming out and be like, yeah, I'd love to go back to Orlando. That's not how it was presented. It was presented, and he was asked, like, would you ever want to finish your career in Orlando? I think that was the exact question. He was like, and I think he said, well, you never know. I wouldn't mind, like something like that. But it was not the thing of, hey, I just want to play in Orlando again. That's not how it was framed. He said, yeah, I do agree with that logically. I'm just a biased DeMar. Fair enough. And we all have our biases, right? We all have them. Haize, I wonder if trading DeMar could help us free up some money to bring back Kobe White. I mean, trading DeMar could. It depends on what you get back in the deal, right? Because, I mean, unless the team is absorbing him with cap space and you're just getting a draft pick back, you're still going to get some salary back. Kobe has shown a lot. And don't get me wrong, Kobe's growth and everything but shooting this season has been huge. He's taken a slide in shooting, but it may be a little too late. And sometimes you do see that. Sometimes by the time a player shows their promise, the front office and the roster is in a certain spot where they just can't re-sign them. So it may be that they turn the Kobe thing into a sign and trade if they can, maybe to get a second round pick or something back in that case. But I just don't know, man. I don't know. But all right, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys know I'll be back at halftime for the halftime hangout and the post-game show. Make sure you're following the show at Bulls Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullscentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail, 773-270-2799. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. Love you guys, man. Let's get this dub. Let's hope that we do. I love you guys, man. Peace, y'all.